Hi guys! Welcome back to our channel. This is Ephraim and you're watching Planting with Ep and Grace. Another day, another plant to discuss. Ito na naman ang inyong hardinarong kapitbahay nagsasabing, tara, usap tayo. Hi guys! Subuhay! Welcome back to our channel. This is Ephraim, yung hardinerong kapitbahay. Magandang araw mga kapuso, kapatid, kapamilya at mga kapitbahay. The satin photos or yung Scindapsus pictus has the reputation of being one of the easiest house plant to keep alive. Okay? It is known for its heart-shaped leaves splashed with spots of iridescent gray and fast-growing trailing vines. Now, this photos is not actually a photo plant or photos plant, although it looks similar that's just its common name. So instead of its variety of Scindapsus pictus, they are different genera but within the same family. Today, we're going to talk about one variety of Scindapsus pictus, which is called now as the Scindapsus pictus Argyraeus, okay? Or also known as the satin photos or the Argyraeus photos. This particular plant is an origin of Southeast Asia, okay? So as you can see, you can find here, this is a big type of heart-shaped leaves with dark green, okay, background. Tapos meron siyang splash with silvery gray. That's why this particular plant, giving it a satin sheen, okay. The best thing about this particular Scindapsus pictus Argyraeus, this could be a beautiful hanging basket plant because of its compactness in terms of its growth, okay. Now, in terms of this height, as you can see, this one is a cuttings already because this Scindapsus pictus can reach up to 90 centimeters more. So the only thing for us to retain its houseplant characteristics is to cut it, okay? Cut it to a particular length na pwede natin siyang ilagay sa loob ng ating bahay. But take note, this could reach up to 90 centimeters or more, okay? Now, in terms of this particular plant, we're going to repot this one. As you can see, nakalagay lang kasi siya doon sa ating plastic, okay, doon sa ating plastic. So the best thing that we have to look into is yung ating pot dapat ay mayroong magandang drainage hole para easily makapag-penetrate yung ating water in terms of kung tayo ay siya ay didiligan natin, okay? So let's talk about the soil mix that I'm going to use. Well, actually, this particular soil mix that I'm going to use is a mixture of, yan, as you can see, meron siyang pumice rocks, coco coir, and yung mga tinatawag nating burned na mga rice hull. Ayan, so that's actually what we're going to use as part of the soil mix. Okay, so let's begin now. Okay. Now, it is really difficult for us to look into this particular plant, especially kung atin siyang bubuhayin, bubuhayin natin siya sa loob ng ating bahay. Kasi nga, hindi niya actually nare-reach yung kanyang pinaka maximum height because of, syempre may mga factors kasi na kinoconsider natin that are not found doon sa ating natural habitat ng ating Scindapsus pictus. Okay? But one of those things na kailangan natin tingnan dito sa mga factors na to ay yung light. Okay? Yung liwanag. Remember that the Scindapsus pictus, we have to bring here bright, indirect light year-round. So, yun ang kanyang pinaka-importanting bagay na kailangan natin consider sa kanya. Importante sa kanya na medyo hindi or it could have yung tinatawag nating bright indirect light sa buong taon, okay? Para siya ay maging maganda yung kanyang growth, okay? Now, of course, since na kanyang natural environment sa ating system ay yung tinatawag nating nasa ilalim siya ng ating mga understory ng mga dahon ng malalaking puno, that's the one thing that we have to adapt also. Okay, bakit? Kasi nga, yung direct o yung direct sunlight will definitely scorch or burn the leaves of this particular plant. Okay? So, while yung tinatawag nating too little naman o yung masyadong maliit naman na amount ng sunlight can cause the leaves to lose its variegation. So, as you can see, importante yung liwanag sa kanya. Kasi yun yung magsisilbi sa kanya na pinaka-stimulus para magkaroon siya ng tinatawag nating growth. Okay? Now, siyempre, ang pinaka-special sa kanya, yung kanyang variegation. Okay? It is very important for us to retain its variegation. And without that, hindi naman natin siya pwedeng ilagay sa loob ng bahay majority of its time. Kasi nga, kung small light lamang or small amount of light lamang ang kanyang makukuha sa loob ng ating bahay, particularly mga artificial light, magkakaroon tayo ng problema kasi yung kanyang magandang variegation dito will definitely mawawala. Okay? Kasi kailangan ng ating halaman na mag-adapt. That's in terms of the light. Okay. Now, also, in terms of the watering. So, I have another one here. So, watering. You have to water thoroughly and allow the top inch of the soil to dry out between waterings. Okay? So, it is very important for us also to look into how we are able to water the plants. Okay? Or the satin. Kasi nga, pag naman sobrang water naman ang ating inilagay dito, the tendency of this particular plant is to have a root rotting o yung tinatawag nating pagkabulok ng kanyang mga ugat. And we don't want that to happen kasi especially this particular plant ay originally hindi naman talaga siya nangangailangan ng masyadong maraming water kasi nga some of its characteristic kasi ay siya ay nakakiyakap o nakahug siya doon sa ating mga malalaking mga puno. Okay? So that's why it is important also to look into paano ba siya really nag-a-adapt sa kanyang natural environment. Okay? So as you can see here, ayan, meron na akong magandang root system here ng aking plant. Okay? I'm just going to try to put them together para maging pag naman natin siya ay pinalaki or pinagsama at nag-reproduce siya ng panibagong mga dahon, medyo maganda na yung kanyang pagtubo or maganda na yung kanyang itsura. Okay? Hindi na masyadong maliit or kakonti. Okay. So, what is now the symptoms pag overwater siya? Of course, one of the things na ating makikita dito pag siya overwatered is syempre, medyo naninilaw yung kanyang dahon. Okay? That's why, it is very important to have a good drainage nung ating house plant. Okay? Now, in terms of the humidity naman, this particular plant we have to try 40 to 50% relative humidity around the plant. Okay? So, we could use primarily humidifier. Okay? Para naman ma-maintain natin yung requirement ng ating Scindapsus. Okay? Now, there are some environmental factor na medyo minsan nagkakaroon tayo ng problema regarding with the humidity. And syempre, pag kulang yung humidity, nagkakaroon ulit siya ng reaction sa kanyang environment. Okay? Now, what will happen to this plant? Syempre, magkakaroon siya ng manifestation sa kanyang dahon din. So, the best thing that we have to do is to put the pot, yung ating pot, sa ilalim or sa ibabaw ng isang plato, ng isang plate, na kung saan maraming pebbles. At within the pebbles, dapat ay mayroong water. Okay? Para to increase naman yung humidity ng kanyang air around it. Okay? So, yun. Importante yun, guys. Okay, now, what else? Now, in terms of the temperature, now, the best thing about this plant is, well-adapted naman siya sa loob ng ating bahay, actually. The average warm temperature that it needs only is 18 to 29 degrees Celsius, which is the exact temperature that we could attain sa ating loob ng bahay, especially in the tropical region like here in the Philippines. Okay? So, in terms of the soil, what am I using now is, you could use the all-purpose houseplant potting mix. But in my case kasi, mas preferred ko kasi yung soil mix na ito na meron ako, which is the mixture of pumice rocks, coco coir, at saka yung ating burned na palay husk. Okay? So, why? Kasi the pumice rocks maintains yung tinatawag nating well-draining, yung ganong characteristic ng soil, while yung coco coir naman maintains naman the moisture of the soil itself. So, kaya maganda siyang i-combine together. Now, in terms of the fertilizer, we have to feed this particular plant monthly, okay? With 20:10:10 water-soluble fertilizer diluted by half. So, ibig sabihin, half of the strength of the fertilizer that we're going to use ay yun yung dapat natin ilagay sa ating Scindapsus pictus. Okay? Now, we have talked about propagation. So, we could use primarily 40-inch or 10 centimeter tip cuttings, and we could insert that in our moist pit or siguro doon sa ating potting mix na lamang. Okay? Para magkaroon siya ng time, para magkaroon siya ng maraming ugat. Okay? Now, actually, it takes time siguro mga 1 week or 2 para magkaroon siya ng roots doon sa ating potting mix. But take note, hindi kailangan siya laging naggagalaw. At syempre, we have to maintain also yung hindi masyadong directly sa light. Okay, yung condition na yun, it will definitely give this particular plant to regenerate its roots. Okay? Now, repotting. Okay, so we could repot this particular plant kasi yung kanyang root system talagang malaki. Okay? Talagang kumakapit siya sa kanyang soil. Okay? So, if we're able to attain yung characteristics na kung saan yung pinaka-ugat niya ay talagang kumakapit na doon sa pinaka-soil niya, sa kanyang pinaka-soil mix, then that's the time that we could already repot this. Okay? O kaya naman, makikita natin yung ugat niya doon na mismo sa ilalim ng kanyang mga holes lumalabas. Okay? So, we could do a repotting with that one. Now, we have to apply 1 to 2 inches bigger. So, hindi gaanong kalaking pots ang kailangan natin gamitin. Siguro 1 to 2 inches bigger from the previous pots na kanyang pinaglalagyan. Okay? Kasi sabi nga nila, the larger the pots, the more chances na yung water ay mag-hold doon sa pots natin. So it's not good kasi it will definitely absorb more water, and then it will encourage yung tinatawag nating yung ating root rot na tinatawag. Now, there are some people na they want to have something na unique. So, they are keeping now some of the Scindapsus pictus doon sa mga glass na mga base kung saan ay walang siyang drainage hole. Okay, so what's the best thing to do with that? So, we could we could choose that one, pero the first thing that we have to put there is yung tinatawag nating mga pebbles. So we have to put pebbles doon. Tapos para bago natin ilagay yung ating pinaka soil medium. Why do we need some pebbles? Kasi para hindi naman siya lumubog doon sa tubig kumbaga, or yung water, we could see the amount of water level doon sa kanyang pinaka pots na walang butas. O yung tinatawag nating cachet pots. Okay? I do hope tama yung pagkakasabi ko. Okay? So yun, yung mga ganong klase, if you want to put something, or is this particular Scindapsus pictus sa isang pot na walang drainage, we have to put some pebbles para matansya natin kung tama na or enough na yung ating water para sa kanya. Okay? So it is actually an indication na okay, so dumaas na yung level, so hindi naman siya mabababad doon sa tubig, kumbaga. Okay. Now, what are the problems that we could met with this particular plant? Okay, as we ang tawag dito, habang inaalagaan natin siya. So, some of the problems are yung tinatawag nating brown leaf tips. Now, kung ganun ang nangyayari na mayroong kaunting browning doon sa ating leaf, katulad dito, ito. So, yan. So, katulad dito, as you can see, yan. So, meron siyang mga brown tips dyan. Yan, ito. Okay? It indicates that the air is dry. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, if the air is dry, kailangan nga natin siyang ilagay sa ilalim o sa ibabaw ng pebbles with some water to increase the humidity. Now, there is something also katulad ng yellow leaves. So, these are the symptoms na too much water yung ating Scindapsus pictus. So, pag nag-yellow na yung ating dahon, it means to say na, oops, tama na yung pagdidilig natin or paglalagay ng water. Now, there's some factors also katulad ng brown spots surrounded by yellow halo. So, this particular characteristic, so brown spot, tapos surrounding niya merong yellow halo, that means to say that it is an indication that there is a bacterial leaf spot. Now, you have to cut the leaves of the affected leaves. Okay, so kailangan tanggalin mo siya, and then we have to take care not to get the leaves wet when watering. So that is also one thing also. Okay? Kasi kumakalat din yung ating natawag na bacterial leaf spot. Now, if that's the case, mostly, ang ginagawa ng ibang mga nagkaalaga is they try to repot again yung pinaka-medium nila, or yung pinaka-soil medium nila, and then after that, they're not using it anymore. So, talaga totally tinatanggal nila. Okay? Yung pinaka-soil mix nila. Okay? Kasi meron na siyang bacteria. Okay. Now, how about curling of leaves? So, this is actually the most common thing na problema ng mga nag-aalaga ng Scindapsus pictus. It means to say na pag nag-curl na yung ating Scindapsus, ibig sabihin underwater siya. Okay? Underwater o yung ating Scindapsus. Okay? Curling and wilting, kumbaga. Now, there's another thing about that is pag sobra naman din siya sa heat ng araw. So, it also resulted dun sa pag-curl ng ating dahon. Okay? So, we don't want that to happen. Okay? Now, precautions. This plant can be a toxic if ingested. The best practices is always to keep houseplant out of reach of small children and pets. So, para hindi natin siya maging problema later on. Okay? So, guys, again, this is our Scindapsus pictus Argyraeus. Okay? So, ang ganda nitong halaman na to, especially pag dumami na siya at talagang pwede na siyang gawing hanging plant. Okay? For the meantime, it will stay here muna para tayo ay maging masubaybayan natin yung kanyang growth. Okay? So, I think that's all, folks. You're watching Planting with F and Grace. Please watch and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have some comments, suggestions, and you have some stories to share about yung pag-aalaga ng ating Scindapsus pictus Argyraeus, so we really want to hear from you guys. Okay? So you may add also to your FB list, our FB page, si Maria Gracia at ang Lihim na Hardin. Okay? So see you again next time for another time of kwentuhan para sa ating mga iba't ibang klase ng halaman. Thank you very much and goodbye!
I never